soon after the assembly elections, polling for the assembly elections, Congress came out with an allegation. The allegation was that three of the BJP leaders, including Chief Minister, Health Minister, and Transport Minister, are trying to take over their possible candidates who are winning. So, in response to that, we have today Minister Mauvin Gudino, who is going to give a reply on that. Welcome to the show, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, basically, this Girish Chondankar had taken a press conference, and he was talking something about you're trying to grab their candidates who are winning. So is it true?
First of all, I totally deny these allegations. In fact, let him show one instance where I have rung even a single candidate asking for their support or asking for a situation the way if there is a hung assembly that they should come and support us. When I am myself confident that we are going to form the government on our own, which I have been saying at every meeting that I have taken, why should I ask them for support? It is they who lack confidence in their MLA to be, and they lack confidence in their candidates. If they were having confidence in themselves, first of all, would they have taken them to a temple, to a cross at Bambolim, to a mosque to take vows that they will not defect or that they will not go to any other side? What does it show? Total lack of leadership, breakdown in the hierarchy of the leadership, and nobody knows who is calling the shots. And for that matter, I would say Girish is very immature in making these statements. Let him prove what he says. He has been making so many innumerable statements that people don't take him very seriously. And how seriously people have taken him or his party will be known after the results are declared on 10. Why so much of impatience? Now, even I because I have that way, I'm in the know of things because I have been a legislator for so long. Why are they thinking that we will make MLAs defect and for that matter try to form the government by hook or by crook? It was never the case. Even in the past, I want to clarify that we broke them. It is they who came voluntarily to us to take positions. They felt such development is taking place in entire Goa. In everywhere they are seeing that things are changing for the better. There people started naturally questioning them. What are you doing as a MLA? Zero development. So from zero to go up to a certain level, they needed the government help. They needed the BJP government. They needed help from the center. So that's why they joined us. We never broke them. One thing has to be made clear. They volunteered to come on their own. That is a fundamental difference. Are they children that we just lift them and we take them or we forcibly bring them? Do they not have a mind of their own? Do they not have their own thinking? These are things what one has to ponder before arriving to a conclusion. Now, because he is not able to hold his flock together, what does it show? Complete lack of leadership. And we have seen what has happened to that particular party. Today, even where they try to take credit, even in different states, it's the other regional parties which have marched far ahead of them, because always regional forces will be pulling at any national party because they will have issues where local people would gravitate towards those issues and towards those people taking up those local issues. So in the bargain, sometimes the national spirit of the national parties to an extent suffer. But what is the case of the Congress? It was the oldest party, more than 100 plus years old, and today you have seen what it is facing. In fact, even these other parties I was reading, they want to form an anti-BJP front minus the Congress. And here is Girish Chondankar tom-tomming about Congress being broken by BJP. Is he, first of all, politically sound to make such statements? What is his maturity for that matter? So, one should not take this thing seriously. Now, up till 10th, you will keep on hearing such stories time and again, time and again. You also have to make news, so obviously you will also interview different people, take different stories which people also some sort of they think it is entertainment, especially with so many channels and with so many parties also coming to Goa. You must realize one thing: these parties also came to Goa. I call them political tourists because they are trying to try their luck, these other parties. Because if they get 6% vote, they will be recognized as national parties. Then they will have a say. And they are hoping against hope at the national level. This is what carries them forward. And here is our little party president of such a big party making those, I should say, little bit childish sort of statements which don't augur well for the polity or in a democratic setup.
But sir, what could have prompted him to make such things, such allegations, and only naming three people in the government?
I'm really surprised and amazed. And I was in one way happy that he named me because he's giving me that much of importance. He's not realizing he's making me that big. I never consider myself a very big leader for that matter. Who makes you big or small are the people. What traction you have with them, whether people want you in your constituency, whether people want you in your particular state. And I, for one, have seen the ups and downs in politics. I have seen right from 89, I have been a legislator. So you see how many years I have been in politics. I was a state youth congress president when I was hardly 21 years old. So all I have seen the entire movement, what has happened in politics. But one must realize it is high time we all Goans, with all political parties, with all the maturity at our command, put our heads together in sincerely doing something for the Goans, doing something for Goa. It does not matter who comes to power, even though we are confident we'll come to power. It does not matter who comes to power, who does not come. The interest of the people should be of paramount importance. The development of the state should be of paramount importance. What has the Congress to show as to what they have done in so many years in power? I can point out to so many negatives what I attribute to the Congress. Today, Madai issue. Is it the case that Karnataka would have gone ahead investing more than 400 crores diverting the water without a green signal from Goa? I know what I don't want to, it will sound like I am trying to blame somebody. That's why I'm not going into the details. But I am privy to information. It is our own government that time, in spite of opposition from me, that permission was given and they were favorable to water being diverted without realizing the consequences. Now that the consequences are there or going to be there in the future, everyone is talking about it. This was again a Congress big mistake. Who handed over land right from Marmugao port right up till Betul, in spite of vehement opposition from me in the cabinet? Who handed over? Just find out. So these are Congress follies which we have to pay the price. Thereafter, mining. Who started the illegal mining? Who gave particular leases which could not be given? Was it not a Congress chief minister? Who indicted whom? Was it not the Shah commission which indicted a Congress chief minister? As against this background, see the development. Now look at the positives about the BJP, that it has developed Goa in such a way, given so many schemes. If I draw out a list both at nationally and in our state itself, this time will not be sufficient. So people have reaped benefits out of this. Today you have the new Zuari bridge coming up. Today you have Mopa airport coming up. These are going to be game changers for development, for generating employment. And what was the opposition doing? Only opposing these projects, only catching the smallest opportunity to blame the BJP. Don't forget, we faced a pandemic situation. Don't forget, we faced, besides the pandemic, a cyclone of unimaginable damage which it did in entire Goa. And so many other things happened where government rose to the occasion, and they are comparing as if there was such a situation another government had done better. Okay, there is always scope for improvement. Even I realize it is high time whoever rules Goa, and I am sure BJP will rule, we have to deliver to the people. Even simple things like water supply, it should be 24 by 7. Even what is that our electricity, it should be there 24 by 7. There should be a proper sewage system. There should be more things coming up in the tourism sector, because when Goa is a world destination, what are we offering them? Only your beaches, only your temples and your churches. It is high time there is no Disneyland like sort of thing in Goa. There is no water world. It should have come long back. There are states which are not tourism related or which actually don't look after tourism so much, but they have done that and we have not done it.
True.
So it is high time somebody has really that sort of thinking where we really do something and Goa be the most wanted place as far as tourism is concerned. We should not only think bask in our olden glory that yes, the highest footfall of tourists are there because we are nice people, nice beaches, but don't forget our neighboring states also are developing.
Yeah.
Today you have Sindhudurg being developed. Chipi airport recently has come into being. So we should move towards a situation in a manner that we create more jobs so that our youth don't have to go hunting around. And I think the agenda is very clear for the government. Mining has to start, but it has to be sustainable mining, legal mining. At the same time, keeping mining aside for a moment, it is your tourism sector which has to pick up in a big way if it is really going to generate jobs for people of all hues and cries. And then you can also convert Goa into a medical hub. You can make it the happening place where people come for treatment. Why cannot it be done? It can become an educational hub. You can have more universities coming, more boarding schools coming with reputed names. Why would people not come to Goa? It would be children of even rich people coming for education to Goa, parents visiting the state while visiting their children. You will have the hotels going. You will have an ecosystem in the villages where they will also have gainful employment. It needs that sort of thinking. Merely talking will not help. It is high time we politicians deliver in a manner where people will be happy that yes, we have a government which is working. Gone are the days when you used to not get monitored. Today are times when you get monitored 24/7 with you people, media, with the social media playing a big role. We are under tremendous scrutiny. So it needs, the things need to be done. We need to mend our ways. We have to have out of the box thinking, implement things which people in the past thought will not happen fast. And I think BJP to an extent has shown that sort of functioning. Nitin Gadkari, I would compliment. He is one person who has delivered big in terms of broadening the road, in terms of giving us bridges and showing us what progress is. Today people have opened their eyes to a large extent. You may not realize now. These days there might have been a slight hold up in traffic at Kottalim because of certain problems what the particular Buildcon was imposing restrictions in the movement of traffic because they wanted to complete the work soon. But the moment that bridge is ready and you have your two iconic towers in place, Goa will be a different place. So from there we have to carry on forward from there. And who can do it? You mean to say these other people who are professing that they will do this and that, when you have a central government with as tall a leader as Narendra Modi ji, Amit Shah ji and all the other ministers. The other day Piyush Goyal ji, the deal what he has gone where a tie-up free trade agreement with UAE and particularly with Dubai, what he has achieved, which will lead to creation of 1 million jobs and more people getting jobs in the Gulf. That sort of thing, which other government in the past has done. Today, even at the national level, I want to say very, very clearly, they are feeling lost with the amount of progress, with the amount of development, with the amount of reforms being introduced by the Modi government. Their effort is only to derail this. How can they derail it? The only way is to bring about social unrest. Pick up some thread from somewhere, some loose end somewhere, and try to bring uneasiness among the people. लोगों को भड़काने का यही उनका काम है. That is what is remaining. That is their mantra. Somehow get the people against you. This is not going to help in the long run. You have gone down so much. You have sunk to such low ebbs. You will only go down deeper. I want to tell the opposition and particularly the Congress, because there are certain masterminds in that party even at the national level. They know how to create problems. I say at least appreciate what good things that are being done. And this was the case when opposition used to applaud Congress when they did a few good things. But I don't see this spirit at all. You have the stalling of parliament. You have business not being transacted in parliament. This is the attitude of theirs, and that is reflected in their mindset of their local Congress leaders who think they are doing something, just agitating the mind of the people. Now, I can say with all the emphasis, I did not contact anybody, I did not phone anybody. Let him show one single proof. And my name figures first. Even I was surprised in digital news. Mauvin Goodino, first time the name was first before the Chief Minister and before Vishwajit Rane. How come they can attribute my name when I have not even contacted anyone? And when I am equally confident that we will get our own strength to form the government, where is the question of contacting them?
They must be thinking that you may get even the chief minister post next time. Is it that case?
See, I believe in one thing. It is in each one's destiny. Nobody can change anyone's destiny. If you have to become something, you will end up being there and you becoming that something. But to work towards that and create situations where people become unhappy about the whole thing, that is not right. And I want to say one thing. Chief Ministership was in 1990 when I revolted and formed the PDF along with a few others. The first person who was offered, of course, it was for a temporary period till Dr. Barboza resigned as speaker and became, was me. I refused at that point of time. So I have never hankered after any position. You can ask Khalabji, you can ask, of course, late Srimati Shashikala Kakot was the one who proposed my name. But I said no. Because, of course, I had different arguments that time. I was too idealistic. I said, if I am made, then why should I resign? Then I should continue. Let him be the speaker. So that cost me not being in that chair also, I want to say here. And there were other occasions when when Sardina government was there, they told me, come this side, we will make you chief ministership. That time at the central level also, my name was cleared. There were other occasions where told me, so and so days. And because I was always a threat perception to the existing leadership in the Congress, they planned that the cases against me to pull me down. When I could not be pulled back politically, then they planned this type of things of fabricating something. And against me for not going to the cabinet resulted in a case which people till today try to rub hard. What do they say? There's a case against him, whispering campaign, which is very, very bad. I challenge them even today. If you have something, please rub it so hard that I am put to task. No, they cannot argument before charge. 4 out of the 5 cases got over. One not going to the cabinet was converted into 5 criminal charges. The last one is there waiting for disposal in one of the courts. And I know I'll get a clean sheet, but to what avail? After 25 years getting a clean sheet, people using that as a ruse against me, as a big thing, as if it is standing against me, trying to tarnish my name. I have suffered all these 25 years. So this is the type of politics also good-hearted Goans sometimes play. We are said to be very good people. But this is a heart we Goan politicians sometimes display, which is, I don't think, very good thing to happen. It happened to me. I want it not to happen to anybody else. And there are bigger scamsters. There are people who have done bigger scams who never see the law taking its course because they know how to manipulate the system. And people who are innocent totally, you find them facing the long arms of the law because they know how to manipulate the system as well. So this is what I have suffered.
Just now you said that on my occasion तुम्ही ते चीफ मिनिस्टर पोस्ट नाकारले. आता ह्या फाटी सपोज प्रपोजल आयला जाल्यार यू विल बी देअर इन द रेस.
See, it is a hypothetical question. I will think of crossing the bridge when I am on the bridge or just before the bridge. So I would not like to answer it at this stage.
Okay. Another thing was, sir, when we talk about the recently concluding polls, Congress fought on 3 linear project and unemployment issue. Do you think that these issue had any kind of impact in the polling?
I do not think this really had any impact. Maybe in some few pockets of Salsette. That is where, if at all, a little bit of swaying of votes was there based on that. Because I remember the same issues were raised even during the Zilla Parishad election. And I want to remind people about one thing. When Zilla elections came, they said BJP will be wiped out. There is anger on COVID management and all other related things. Did BJP not sweep the Zilla election? When municipal elections came, They said that, oh, again BJP will be taught a lesson. This BJP supported candidates will be really taught lesson big time. What happened? We swept the municipal elections as well. Same history is going to repeat again now. You will find the BJP getting a majority on its own. Maybe because of the vicious campaign of falsehood carried out by the opposition, from a absolute majority, it may turn into a simple majority. But majority, definitely, I am very confident that BJP will form the government, given its track record.
Before election, we saw certain parties, and every time you were also the one who said that they are the political tourists. Now, like TMC, they are nowhere now in the picture. Not even single press conference, and if we heard that their leaders are also leaving the party one by one. Do you think that Goa has learned a lesson from this?
I will answer it in Konkani. Politics mada godgodia head nu. They came to try their luck. Understood me? They thought it is they will be lucky to be known as a big national party by getting some seats here and there. But I feel they will not get even a single seat for that matter, and they will see it happening now. Now you see what is happening in that party. They are sacking their own president. Then when they ask him to resign, he is not resigning. Now he is being sacked. So that entire party is in turmoil. A person like even our great, whom they call the best legislator, Reginaldo Lorenzo, joined that party and left immediately. And then he contested as an independent in Kurtori, which speaks volumes of what actually is happening in that party. And it is only Goa's misfortune that one of the most senior leaders of Congress left that party, joined TMC to get retirement benefits. And what benefits he got, everyone knows. So basically, it was a selfish interest. So that way, I wouldn't rate that party anywhere where it can be called a national party, though it may be making umpteen efforts by moving even at the national level here and there.
Sir, now coming back to the election thing, if elected BJP, what would be the main priority that BJP would like to do first thing?
I would say first thing, the basic things should be set right. You should have good roads which don't get washed out every monsoon. Monsoon is a phenomenon which we experience every year. So we should not have bad roads. Number one basic thing. You should have water continuously 24 by 7. This is a very basic need. We have had slogans coming out from some ministers who now aspire to be chief ministers. They have been so long holding PWD. What is the state of the roads in Goa? Please tell me. And I think every person holding that portfolio has resulted in, I will say it is a public waste, converting PWD into a public waste department. So we should not allow that thing to happen this time around. Then of course talking about sewage system has to be fixed, which again is under PWD. Where you have septic tanks overflowing in entire Goa. It has lived its time. You have all this water coming out of the septic tanks, polluting the groundwater. This has to be fixed. These are the basic things that need to electricity. Of course, you have it failing every time. I want to remind viewers that it was me when I was electricity minister. Even though Atal Bihari Vajpayee, the late Atal Bihari Vajpayee was the Prime Minister, my friend, the late Kumar Mangalam, who was the Power Minister, took me for a presentation with the Honorable Prime Minister. And thereafter, what result was that we got a dedicated line from Karad, Kolhapur, right up till Goa, right up till Thivin. That's how we have the dedicated line for Goa and a dedicated 400 kVA substation at Thivin. If that were not there, you imagine what would have been the situation of Goa. We got it free of almost 450 crores of rupees were spent by the center. So that was my performance. Instead of rewarding me for my performance, my own chief minister punished me for not going to the cabinet, not accepting the opinion of his own advocate general, which he promised the whole entire cabinet, I will go as per law. When decision could have been ratified, he chose not to ratify the decision so that a case can be filed against me. So this is what ignominy I faced. Instead of being, what should I say, rewarded for the real good time performance, I was punished. And thereafter they have continued rubbing that again salt on my wounds about the case being hoisted on me. That as if I have committed a big crime. And what was done ultimately? In a brochure printed by EDC, in a brochure printed by the Economic Development Corporation, water and electricity, that is power subsidy was given. I just implemented it, nothing more than that. And while implementing, what flaws were there, I corrected in a notification. For having made correction in the notification, applied for availing to applied or availing, it was made into a criminal charge for not going to the cabinet. I can point out 100 such decisions where things have not gone to the cabinet. It is the duty of the secretary concerned, secretary power, to write there, or the chief secretary, so and so decision was taken by cabinet, please put up to the cabinet. No such thing was done, and I was singularly held responsible, which itself shows it was political. So I have faced this thing for performance. I wish all of us really perform. That's my wish in this new government that will come, and give Goa people what they deserve. They have been yearning and yearning, waiting for years that we'll get real good governance. To an extent, yes, Dr. Pramod Sawant did quite a good job during his tenure. People were thinking there will be a vacuum when the late Manohar Parrikar's demise was there. But I think you need to do more. There is always scope for improvement. People are not happy with that sort of performance. People want much more things to happen. And for that, we all need to work in tandem together. It is not the case that only one fellow is so smart that he alone will do, and with one or two advisors things can be done. It should be, since cabinet also is a collective responsibility, all of us should march together. And it does not matter who is there in the government. Though we are confident we will very much be there in the government, I am still saying, ultimately we are there for the good of the people of Goa. What is our job? To perform in your constituency, to perform, if you are a minister, to perform and show what you are doing for entire Goa. That is what has to be done.
Sir, since you have taken name of late Manohar Parrikar ji, there was a statement in before the election made by Francisco Sardino. Since you actually admire Parrikar ji very much, and you joined BJP because of him, do you think such kind of statement should have been made, or not? They should have refrained.
See, Sardina has never been a very mature leader. I would say it smacks of his childishness to make such a statement, and it also reflects on his character. How horrible can it be, what he said against our tallest leader in Goa? I strongly condemn what he said against Sri Manohar Parrikar. You can't bring, even if you feel about that, keep it to yourself. You are bringing it in public domain and saying such things, which speaks unethically. I say that it is uncalled for, his remarks, and in fact he should apologize. Even now he is free to apologize for making those remarks, and not lower the standards in our Goan politics by making such personal remarks.
You want to add something? No. Achha, coming back to the first question, sir, there is some slight confusion in the minds of general public when we see political leaders trying to blame others of trying to grab their MLAs. How they get to know that they are winning? How is this winning situations, or how that winning calculations are actually made?
That you should ask a person like Girish how he knows who is winning and who is losing, because he is already saying we are out to grab his MLAs. Because you have different surveys predicting different things, and you have also had silent voting in different constituencies. You really do not know. Like, I will say, to my mind, that silent voting has been done by people because the vicious campaign that was carried out, you had to show that you are on their side. Quietly they have voted for development, quietly they have voted for their own progress, quietly realizing what is good for the state of Goa and its well-being. That's why I am confident that BJP will come back to power with a majority on its own.
Thank you very much, sir. This was Mr. Mauvin Gudino. He has, in fact, asked Congress leader Girish Chondankar to come out and show a single proof where he has contacted any of the Congress MLA. And he has also spoken about the vision of BJP once it forms the next government. My best wishes to you, sir, for the election.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Ultimately, even you media, you all highlight so many things, and you are the real fourth estate. Now it looks like you all are going to be the first or second estate with so much of social media, everything under scrutiny. Ultimately, we are all there for the good of Goa. Let's do something good. That is what all I have to say. And let that good be there to show, not merely in intention. It should be in implementation for the people to really see your sincerity, really worked for their betterment and their upliftment.
Thank you very much, sir. Thanks a lot.